this all, and I'm just so grateful and honoured that Carl's coming up. I'll just give you a wee bit of sort of the backstory around it. I have been on my journey of self-development for many years, and you know, been through many different things, childhood trauma, and you know, I was just sort of making my way, personal development. I had studied counselling, but just thought, just not for me. And then I just want to get to whenever I went down to Dublin. A little bit of the backstory was, I'm a big believer in the universe being guided, and I actually won tickets to an event called Your Best Year Yet. Yeah, let me get it right. Your Best Year Yet. And there, my brother won tickets for, well, he actually won hypnotherapy. And then from that, he won tickets to go down to Dublin for the additional weekend to train. So he invited me along. I went down. I have already had 2 different jobs, 2 careers. I'm a really, really busy person. But whenever I went down and sort of just heard the knowledge and the wisdom, and I just thought everybody in the world should know this. It was just so, it just blew me away. I don't even know what else to say. I was just really gobsmacked. And again, like I've said before, I sort of asked every difficult question I could sort of muster. And I thought, it's really about looking at yourself and the awareness and sort of turning that in. Because with myself personally, I've had social work. I work with children. I work in a nursery school, and I've had social worker training. And it's all about, there's a thing called the ACEs score. I'm not sure if anybody's aware of it, but it's Adverse Childhood Experience. Okay? And it's sort of, it's a scale. It's a few questions, and you get a score. Now, what I will say is, if anybody wants to do that test, I would be a little bit careful, because you can end up feeling quite vulnerable. I know I was. So anything above a 4 is, basically it's saying you're going to be set up for a pretty hard life. Now, 4 out of 10, anything above 4, 1, 2, 3, whatever's bad, anything above 4 is really bad. I scored a 9 out of 10. So I looked at this and went, oh gee, that's not good. So it was just all that stuff that you sort of, well, I personally had ran away from, had tried to move through, wouldn't look at, all these emotions, repressed memories, and just sort of, to me then, it was the right time. The universe was sort of guiding me in the right direction at the right time in my life to go and hear about the hypnotherapy. So as I say, this brings me to the point of going down to Dublin, you know, hearing Carl, and there's some people here that were there, you know, that can testify. It was just amazing. And I says, look, I don't even have the money, I don't care, I'll find a way, I need to train in this. So that's exactly what I did. Me and my brother went down, we trained, and it's just been really, really transformational, really life-changing. And I just sort of says, look, Carl, the amount of suicide, depression, anxiety, trauma, all of this stuff that's up north. And down south, you know, there's clinics, there's talks, there's all this stuff. And I was a bit like, so I've had to travel down to Dublin. Surely we cannot bring this knowledge up here. Because I know I'm speaking to a few of my friends, and they've just been really, really interested. So I'll even share this wee thing that I sort of, it's so strange what you learn about yourself. I'll give you an example with mine. There's always been this sense of disconnection in the world, disconnection to people. And I was always sort of baffled. Is it just me? Am I just a bit different? Am I strange? What is it? So I worked with a lovely lady. She's actually coming in the afternoon, and she's also a clinical hypnotherapist, and she regressed me back. I was literally a baby, and I was sitting in like a high chair, and my parents were arguing. And I had a younger consciousness thinking, why aren't they looking at me? Why aren't they talking to me? What's going on? There was a disconnect. They were arguing. And you see that memory, and then you go through your memories. It has to be brought into the awareness. You can't just run away from it. And through that session, I was able to sort of come out of it feeling more connected in the world. And just, that even blew me away. I've had lots of treatment, lots of work with myself, and it's a bit like, you have to go into the difficult stuff if you want to move forward. It's a bit like me. I'm kind of like, oh yeah, let me do this, let me be very busy, let me have this and that career, and let me not look at the stuff under the carpet, the metaphorical carpet, as I've spoke about before. But it just has to be brought to the surface. And I went down, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I went down to Drogheda to see Carl in his wonderful clinic, and it just blew me away. Just seeing, I've shared in some of my live videos, the mask and the persona, which we all have different masks, and mine was just do, go, perfectionist, just all of this, and there was just a softening with me. There was just a, right, okay, I don't have to not impress people, but it's always, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Well, what about me? I'll share a wee bit of a funny thing. Christmas. I don't particularly like Christmas. Coming from a mother who, a family where, I'll give you a little bit of the scope. Very mentally ill mother, extreme bipolar, father left when I was 3. So as you can tell, there was a lot of stuff. Never really liked Christmas. And my partner was saying to me just the other day, it's like you get these realizations. Oh, what are we doing for Christmas? There's a bag of presents from last year that I regift. See, when people give me gifts, I'm like, yeah, great, and I regift them. I never keep them. I got birthday presents, and I gift them off. And it never occurred to me, why do you do that? And I went, that's strange. It's find it hard to receive. I can do everything for everybody else, but what about me? So it's bringing that awareness, self-care. You need to look after yourself, because see this little inner child here, every time it sees me giving that present away or doing this, or I don't need, or I don't want, not looking after my needs, it's in there, it needs care. So it's, see all these realizations, you're just walking around the past few weeks going, wow, that realization, this is coming to light, this and that. And another, I'll not tell you the store. Again, these seem like such small examples, but to me, they're fascinating. I was in a shop the other day, 2 days ago, and whenever I was busy and rushing and put my card in the machine and left out the door, and I get a hand on my shoulder. Turn around, it was the lady from the shop. Oh, I'm really sorry. Oh, you haven't paid, or what's happened with the card machine? And I was like, oh really? Okay. So we went in, and it turned out the card hadn't been read right. Right. That's okay. So this woman was absolutely mortified. She was more embarrassed than I was. I was standing there like, it's okay. It was a simple mistake, which it was. But I'm looking at myself, see if this had been 6 months ago, 3 months ago, I would have nearly died a death of shame. I would have took that in and went, oh, how could I do such a thing, you know? But it's a bit like, see these small things in life, see the quality of your life, it just gets so much better. Things get so much easier. Like, again, I've spoken a lot about anger release, forgiveness, and letting go of all that stuff. It just, see to just have the baseline quality of your life, peace and contentment. I mean, that for me is amazing. And another wee thing I've actually forgot to say about this ACEs score. If you score more than 5 and above, your chance of suicide rises, and this number shocked me, by 1,220%. Your risk of suicide, just coming from all these, you know, all this childhood trauma. And I was like, well gee, I wonder what my number is on that scale. Pretty astronomical. And I'm just like, I'm sort of now ready to go back and look at these issues. And, you know, Carl has been a wonderful guide to sort of guide me through the processes. But what I really want to say, what this is about is, I went down, I was fascinated, I was blew away, the quality of my life just completely changed. And I was just sharing me bits with people, and they seemed fascinated. And I said, you know, Carl, I'm seeing too much of this. See suicide on the TV, depression, anxiety, young people don't know what to do, you know, with themselves, how to deal with these emotions. And it's trauma, and it's secondary trauma, especially in Northern Ireland and Belfast, coming from the troubles and where we've been. So actually there's a lovely lady coming, Kira. She has arranged we're going to do a skydive for suicide awareness, for mental health. So it's going to be myself, Carl, my brother, Kira, Hugh, a host of other people. But for me, that's where it needs to be. Just, you know, whatever I've learned and what I want to share, I want to sort of pass that on. So that's what it's all about. And I just really want to thank Carl for coming up here, coming all this way, through whatever has went on this morning, but we'll not let it get to us. But we'll not all these wee trips and trials. And just thank you so much for being here. And I know we're going to have a fantastic day. So thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Ashley. One thing you learned about me really quickly is
I like tea.
so